Hello and welcome everyone to this week's COT review. I'm Thomas from COTbase.com. Today we're going to have a look at the 30-second Commitments of Traders report of 2013. As usual, we're going to start off with the changes in commercials positions. So here we go. You can see we've got sugar on top of our list. We have a 29% change in commercials positions, a 25% change in large speculators, and a 31% change in small speculators positions. These are large changes. If you look at this one use chart, I believe in commercials it may actually be the largest change. We had a similarly large change back over here 6 months ago on the chart. You can see just after we had this little rebound in prices. Of course, don't forget that usually these changes affect price in a near-term perspective. So let's open a 5-year chart and see how the longer-term picture looks like. You can see that actually all over most of the majority of soft markets, what we could witness is that commercials were above the zero line, becoming a net long, and that was suggesting all over that we have a very bullish extreme in the market. That's the case in sugar actually. Now you can see that commercials have moved down below the zero line, becoming net short, which means we may actually see prices going higher as we move away from this extreme territory. So the big question is, of course, are we going to see commercials next week become even more net short, or are they going to go bounce back and become again net long in a few weeks' time, which would mean we could easily see prices continue their decline? That's the big question here. One thing's for sure, the stress level in sugar market is definitely high. We are expecting something big to happen, and that big move may actually become present right now. The next market that we're going to have a look at is copper. We have a 26% change over there in commercials positions, a larger change size in large speculators, a 31% change. You can see the changes over here. We've been talking about copper a few weeks back, and I was telling you that it seems to be a bit stronger than other metal markets. If you compare copper's price chart to silver or even gold, you're going to see that it hasn't fallen that much as they did. So anyhow, you can see that we were not we were at an extreme in copper. Commercials were at roughly 40,000 contracts net long back over here, and that actually marked a little bottom over here. So since then, prices are rallying, and I believe they can easily continue their rally. If we're moving away from the extreme territory, we're going to see large speculators head back to net long territories. We may see prices continue their rally. The next market we're going to have a look at is live cattle. We have a 25% change in commercials and also in large speculators positions. The changes over here being much larger than average. They're of course bearish signals. Let's have a look at the 5-year chart and see whether we've got an extreme in live cattle or not. Well, you can see that commercials, if they were above 30,000 contracts net long, they would be at an extreme level. The opposite, if they were below about 75,000 contracts net short, that would mean that they're at an extreme level. So they're basically in between. We can't really talk about a significant extreme, but the fact that large speculators are above the zero line suggests that the long-term picture is definitely still bullish. The trend is pointing upwards. That's something important that you should consider. Let's move on and have a look at large speculator COT Extreme. Here we go. We've got lean hogs on top. There's an all-time extreme in commercials and also large speculators positions. So we're going to open lean hogs first and of course change to the 5-year chart. Here we go. You can see we have a huge decline in prices. So I was telling you that there's a great bearish extreme in lean hogs. Anybody taking this tip last week could have made a fortune last week. We can see prices declining very rapidly. We've got a huge decline. Why I was telling you, of course, it's pretty simple. If you look at this chart, we have an extreme, and if you search all of these past extremes on this 5-year chart or even a longer term chart, you're going to see that as in most of the markets, usually COT analysis is pretty effective, and that's exactly what happened and what's happening right now. So we're actually just witnessing prices reacting to the signal. Well, I wouldn't say that it's the best timing to enter this market. I believe this may have been a limit down, a couple of limit down days last week. Moving on to corn, we're going to move on to corn, where we had a 443 report extreme in large speculators positions. This is if we look at this 5 years chart, I believe a very bullish extreme. Here you go. Yes, it is definitely a bullish extreme. And we're going to look at some examples when we had such an extreme in the market, and all of those were coinciding with a bottom in prices. So that's the same thing we're expecting to happen right now. We're definitely after a decline, and we're expecting prices to start rebounding and moving upwards in a few days or weeks. And our last market, the Eurodollar, we have only a 60 report extreme, so not a big extreme actually to talk about. We're going to open the 3 years chart. The extremes are usually more visible on the 3 years chart on Eurodollar. You can see we had a huge extreme back over here roughly 7 months ago, and signaling the end of this decline, and then prices moved back upwards. We had another extreme, and since then we can't really pinpoint any major extremes or maybe some relative ones actually, I'm sorry. But it's definitely indicating that prices should go even higher from here, which is actually pretty seems a bit nonsense after having prices basically pushing the upper limits over here. Anyhow, that's going to be all for this week. If you would like to have a look at other COT charts, you can do so at our COT charts page. Or if you would like to have a more in-depth and detailed COT analysis, well, check out our COT analysis page, where you can add other very useful functions to your table, look at new COT report types, data types, and all sorts of other great functions are available at our site. Thank you very much for being with me. I hope you enjoyed my review, and I hope to see you next week. Have a great weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.